Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for attending today's session on fast cash and payday loans. You are going to get a wealth of information from our very own Miss Jeannette Bennett. Miss Bennett is the Senior Economic Education Specialist with the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, the Memphis branch. So if you didn't attend yesterday's session, I encourage you to sit back, buckle your seat, and enjoy. She is going to give you things that you didn't even know about. So I'm going to now turn it over to Miss Jeannette Bennett. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Sheila. Now, if I can just live up to all that stuff you said. So, I could be dull and boring first thing in the morning, but Sheila has got it set so that I guess we got to get energetic here, don't we? So, thank you for coming today and for being a part of our session. And Sheila and I were just talking a few minutes ago. The conference is going to be over tomorrow, and it's taken us all week to learn what we need to learn. It's a shame we can't do it again next week. We might get good at it, but we're better. Yesterday, we didn't know that we couldn't hear you. We didn't know that we couldn't see you, but today we're prepared to just talk to ourselves, I guess. But now Sheila has the option of letting you talk. Sheila can unmute you, I think. Is that right, Sheila?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So um, she will watch. If you've got something to say, she'll unmute you, and we'd be happy to hear from you. So, fast cash and payday loans is an interesting topic, especially for us in Tennessee. And we're going to get into that pretty good here in a minute. But first of all, let me say I am required to say everything I say may or may not be representative of the Federal Reserve System. That's in case I say something dumb, stupid, or wrong. They don't They'll say, we didn't tell her to do that. She doesn't represent the Fed. So there's my email. You can email me and say, that was dumb, stupid, or wrong. Now, today's world is changing, as we all know. I mean, nobody has to tell us that. I mean, we're good examples of this Zoom conference. Last year we were in Chattanooga and it was hot and we were walking and I thought I was staying really close and it turned out to be like, I don't know, 30-minute walk away, having to lug all that stuff and find a place to park. And we thought, oh dear. And then this year we're thinking that those were the good old days. The good old days of where we could run into each other and hug and smile and have good food. We weren't prepared for the changing world. Well, the changing world of financial literacy is the very same. You think of something today that's working with your finances. First thing you know, new stuff comes out. It's all changed every day. But you don't know ahead of time what to expect. You just got to be on your toes and watchful of what's going on. I've always thought that personal finance is probably my favorite class of all to teach because if you get tired of it one day, it's going to be different the next. So it's constantly changing, and there's a lot of dynamics there. Well, one of the things for sure that's grown over the years is using credit and debt and having debt. Now, there's all kinds of credit. You can have these long term loans like buying a house, buying a car, or your student loans, or there's that revolving credit like credit cards. And if you were in our session yesterday, I think yesterday I pointed out that most of your credit score comes from your credit cards. So, credit cards It can be good, it can be bad. It can be bad if you don't use them correctly because you can get fees and fees and fees. But if you use it correctly, credit cards are wonderful. They build your credit, number one. Number two, they're free interest loans. I have a credit card that I pay off. I have two credit cards that I pay off in full every month. So if I charge something, let's say I charge something today, that's not going to be on my August bill. So this is July the 22nd. Is that right? Or is today 23rd?
23rd.
Okay, today's the 23rd. If I charge something today, my bill comes out on the first part of August. This charge today won't be on there. I will not have to pay for it until September, which means, I mean, that's like 5 weeks free financing. Good deal. But don't mess up and forget to make your payment, or you're going to get a $35 charge stuck on there, plus interest. So it all depends. Some credit is good. Some credit could even be for payday loans. And we're not going to make decisions today about good or bad because it all depends. But remember that in making decisions about credit and debt, you should know that borrowing can be costly without the power of knowledge. So the point of today's session is giving you knowledge. Think about it. Don't just, okay, charge up stuff and get in this quagmire of debt. Think about it and look at the facts. Okay, so as we look at what a payday loan is, some of you may have experiences with payday loans. Some of you may not know anything about it at all. But the one thing for sure, find you a street in any town in Tennessee.
Jeannette, if you're there, I think you froze on us. Jeannette? Jeannette Bennett? You guys hang tight. Okay, hold on. Hold tight. Jeannette, I know. Okay, she's going to get out and she's going to come back in. You gotta love this technology. You just got to. She's coming back on. Rebecca Brady, you're right about that. It does require some grace. Just a little patience. I agree. Totally agree. I'll let you guys know when she's back on. I know you never experienced these hiccups in your classroom. Never. We'll see come the fall. Hang in there. It's going to be all right. Okay, let's see if she's going to be back. Not yet. She's coming back.
Okay, I'm back. Sheila, are you there?
Yes, we are all here.
I was just totally kicked off.
You were
I was
kicked
saying,
off?
yes. And then it said that I couldn't rejoin and I had to go back from the very beginning.
I'll make a note of that. We have some discussions with the UTK platform later. So I'll make sure to bring that up.
I mean, I was in a panic and I was going, Sheila, where are you?
Okay.
Okay.
Can you guys see me now? Some people said we can hear you, but not see you.
Really?
Yeah, Jeannette, pull up your PowerPoint again. Do you have it up?
I'm trying. Yes, I do right now. Just now pulled it up.
Okay. And they say they can't. When you get that PowerPoint up, go ahead and they want to see your face.
I'm supposed to be on there.
Your picture is on there. Go to the bottom of the Zoom platform and click on Start Video.
Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought we had this mastered. This says you cannot start the video because the host has stopped it.
Now, let me give you, I just made you co-host. Okay, now see what you can do. Guys, bear with us. I promise. Good information is forthcoming.
Now, can you see me?
I can, yeah, you're on now. Okay, now pull up your session. Share your screen. Yeah, they see you.
You know what, y'all? This is a very nerve-wracking change when you get kicked off and all this stuff happens, and wow, we all deserve some kind of medal,
From
don't we?
current slide. Mm-hmm.
But it's not doing it.
It's not putting it in slideshow view?
No,
there
let
you
me
go.
start. All right. Okay, as I was saying about 10 minutes ago, you're not going to find these payday loan storefronts in affluent sections of town. You're going to find them in the lower income areas. So just pay attention as you drive through cities, and you can tell something about the community by where they are located. But now the data in this today was collected from 2017. I want you to look at my numbers. In the whole United States, there were 14,348 payday loan storefronts. At the same time, there were 14,027 McDonald's. So there were more, can you believe that? More payday loan store fronts than there were McDonald's. And on top of that, that's not even counting all the internet online payday loan. Now, the internet and doing payday loans online started big in the 1990s, because we're going to learn in a minute that payday loans are regulated by the states. So if a state, for example, Arkansas, prohibits payday loans, Tennessee doesn't. Tennessee allows them. But if in Arkansas there was a payday loan storefront and then it's put out of business because Arkansas says we don't want any here, then there was a time when they went to far off places like up in Montana on Indian reservations, and they would set up some business office there because it was on an Indian reservation, and they could market to the whole country without worrying about the state laws. Now that's been a little bit shady and a gray area for quite some time, and some of that was stopped, if not all of it. But anyway, That's important to know. Now, one thing about the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, we have a website, stlouisfed.org, and then when you click on economic education, it comes up like this, and then you click on the home page over there, like right here, and it's when you click on that, it's going to come up here. I put in payday loans in the search box. Now, this is like we've got 400 and something resources listed here, and you can sort by grade level, by topic, by subject, but I just want to see what's there for payday loans. And when I did, it came up that we do have several things. One of the things is an infographic. Now, when it comes up, right here it says a description and tells you all about it, but right here it says launch the infographic. And if you click on that, this is what comes up. And it's just an infographic that right here, it's talking about payday loans. And you see this little clip right here, that little arrow says video. So if you're doing this online, you can click there and there's a little video about payday lending. So we had that. And it's been there for a while. And then another thing that comes up when you check on materials or resources we have for payday lending, we have a curriculum called It's Your Paycheck. And lesson 8 of that talks about payday loans. And with that, there's a PDF lesson, a whiteboard lesson, and a PowerPoint. Or another thing that comes up, you can get this lesson in a different format online as an online course. So we already had some materials on payday loans. And here's some facts that comes from that PowerPoint that I just showed you that was available online about payday loans. Here's some facts. The term of a payday loan is usually about 2 weeks. And the name payday loan comes from you borrow money till your payday. Now, the 2 weeks is the average of when people get paid. If you get paid once a month, your loan would come due in a month. If you get paid weekly, your loan would come due in a week. But the average is every 2 weeks. So the payday loan means you're borrowing until you get paid. And then when you borrow from a payday lender, you're supposed to pay the whole thing back when you get paid. But sometimes you can't. And then you roll it over. And that's fine with them because they're going to charge you fees to do that. Now, the annual percentage rate, like when you have a loan of any kind, they're going to say, well, your interest rate to buy this car is 7% or 8% or whatever. Well, in the payday loan business, they don't just do things the same way. They have fees that they charge, but when those are converted over to what the effective interest rate would be, that's why we get these extreme interest rates. We'll get into that again in a minute. Now, a typical payday loan is about $300. They're made for short emergency use. And one of the ways that it can be paid back, now look at this. Think about this. You go get a payday loan and you have a bank account. You give, and it's going to be due in 2 weeks. So you post date that check for the total amount that's going to be due, and you let the payday lender hold it until the day your loan is due. Then they have the authority to deposit. Okay, sounds good, doesn't it? What if you don't have enough money in that bank account to cover that? They're going to deposit it. You're going to get overdrafts because they have the authority when you do that to deposit it regardless of what your bank account is. Kind of risky there. Okay, another thing is these facts say most people are not going to be able to pay it back. If you didn't have $300,
Jeanette, you froze again. Jeanette, if you're out there somewhere, just want to let you know you froze again. We still can't, we can't hear you. You may have to go out and get back in. She's on her way back.
off again, Sheila.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what keeps happening, but I know it's frustrating. But we're still here. We're not going anywhere.
I'm going to start talking faster just in case. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, yes.
Okay. Now, all right, y'all. Hold your seatbelts. Now I'm going to go fast because if I get kicked off for real, for good, you won't ever know the end of the story. Okay. So I did an article last year, Fast Cash and Payday Loans. And this is part of a series we have in at our website. We have a whole bunch of things. Yesterday, Sheila and I were in a session where I touched on other topics, but these come out every quarter. We have some new hot topics. Well, a couple things I wanted to share with you about payday loans. Number one, when this came out, I got an email from St. Louis from somebody I didn't even know, and they said that this article had been picked up by like 5 national news outlets. And I'm thinking, oh dear, you know, and that's all they said. And I was scared. What if I put something in there wrong and it's going to be on Fox News or CNN or someplace? Jeannette Bennett from the Federal Reserve has said so and so. And I thought I'd be fired tomorrow because what if, Well, as it turned out, I didn't get fired and it was all okay. But the reason they picked it up, the headlines said, according to the Federal Reserve, fast cash is in greater demand than fast food. Because you remember those statistics I told you that there were more storefront payday lenders than there were McDonald's? That's what was picked up. And so, I mean, there was a day or two there I was sweating it because I thought all I'd have to do is say something wrong and it be picked up by 5 national, whoever they were. And then one day, this came out a year ago, this particular article. Do you know in one day, they in St. Louis, there's some IT people that keep check on how many times people open up a different article or a different lesson. In one day, in March or April of this year, this article was hit. It had over 2,000 hits in one day. And I'm going, oh dear, I'm going to be in trouble again. What is going on? One of the things that payday lending is big business. It's also, I mean, you got some people involved with making a lot of big bucks. But anyway, it's a popular topic. Now, when this article, along with the others that lessons and articles are written, we use standards and benchmarks that are nationally normed. And here are the standards for teaching financial literacy: earning income, buying goods and services, using credit. You can read these. And of course, payday lending fits in with using credit. But we also added another standard, which was decision making, because with all credit and debt, decisions are very important. Now, if you go to the website, stlouisfed.org, and click on, like I showed you earlier, this is what's going to come up, and it's going to give you the option. There's a student edition that's a PDF that you can just click on, print it off. But you know what? People don't have time to be printing off a bunch of stuff. And in today's world, you can't do it anyway. So we're going to learn that you can go online right here where it says teachers, visit the Econ Lowdown teacher portal, and you're going to find this online, and you can assign it to students. But the first thing to do is click on that teacher portal to get your account set up. All right, so let's look at payday loans. They're alternative lending, fast cash for emergencies from one paycheck to the other. You can get the cash immediately or within 24 hours. They are very, very convenient. And for some consumers, that's all that's available. Now, why would they not be available? Why would they be the only one loans available for some consumers? I've got another slide in here in a minute that tells you it may be because no credit score, low credit score, and they can't get a loan from the normal bank or credit unions. So that goes back to the good credit, bad credit, whatever. You got to have credit established, and that means debt. Make good decisions about it to ever get a good credit score. And if you don't have good credit and a good credit score, you can't get a loan. So sometimes payday lenders are what's left. They're unsecured, means there's no collateral. Some fast facts. We already talked about this. Most of them are rolled over. 20% end in default. Now, you know, I just now said there was no collateral. They were unsecured. That's one, you know, they take that risk because there's a big default on paying them back. Okay, do you know in 2017, there were still many of our U.S. households who were unbanked or underbanked. Unbanked means they don't have a bank account, they don't have anything. 6.5% are unbanked, and getting close to 20% are underbanked. So we have got, you know, 25, getting close to 25% of our population that do not use banks fully. And then they resort to, they have an emergency where you're going to get the money. Okay, who uses payday loans? Look at the bottom bullet. It says as many as 12 million Americans each year have a payday loan. Now go back to the top bullet. A lot of military use payday lending. It was so widely used in military. 44% of all the service members were using them, as compared to only 7% of the general population. So you know, they had these army bases or military bases all over the country. The payday lenders would be right outside the perimeter of the base, right there waiting for the service people to come out and get a loan. Well, it became such a problem that the Military Lending Act was enacted in 2006, and again in 2015 it was addressed, and it's a federal law that prohibits payday lenders from charging active duty military members more than 36%. But can you imagine? That's not even a good deal, is it? But can you imagine 44% of the military personnel were using this type of loan? Borrows, okay, to get, how do you get a payday loan? Number one, you don't need any collateral. You don't have to have a credit score, but you must have either a bank account or a credit union account or a prepaid card account. And then you've got to have proof of income, like a pay stub of some sort, because they do want to know that you are going to get paid, because your paycheck is what you're supposed to base your payment on. And then you got to have identification, like a social security number, and you got to be 18. That's all. You go in and take a pay stub, have your social security number, something that shows you're 18 years old, and a prepaid card account. You can get it. Now, look at this first bullet. $9 billion a year on just the fees. You remember I told you it was big business? It's huge business on fees. Now, there is a federal law, that's the Truth in Lending Act, that requires the lenders to disclose all the, agreement before the loan is made. But have you ever thought about how many people don't read all that fine print? Have you ever got a credit card, that information in the mail, and there's like 4 pages of it, and you throw it in the trash? You don't want to read all that stuff. Well, but they have satisfied the law by telling them the terms, but most people are not paying attention to it. But one of the things in the Truth in Lending Act says, I don't care if you charge fees or interest. You've got to convert it to what it would be if it was just an interest rate, so that consumers can compare. Apples to oranges would be, if they just said, well, we have a fee and it's $15 100. Well, how does that compare to a bank note that's charging you 8%? So it is a law that the payday lenders say, we're going to figure all the fees, and we're going to calculate, if this loan was for a year, what the annual percentage rate would be. You got it? They convert it over because they have to. Now, when they convert it over, you remember the average payday loan is $300 for 2 weeks. And so they figure up by using a formula, if that costs you $345 to pay back, because it's usually about $15 100 in fees, they say, okay, for 2 weeks, a $300 loan is going to cost $345 to pay back. What would that be the equivalent of if it was for a whole year? So that's how come this interest rate is so high. Look at, and I just picked out some, look at Tennessee, 460%, but that's not as bad as Texas. Well, New Mexico's cheap, isn't it? Only 175%. Well, that sounds ridiculous. Who would do that? And then in that article that I shared with you a while ago, it explains how to calculate the annual percentage rate. Now, this is important, especially for Tennessee, because remember that interest rate, what was it, 460%, the effective interest rate? Well, how come we allow that? Well, it's a state regulated thing. And that's important to know, because it is a state regulated business. There's 17 states and the District of Columbia, DC. They either prohibit it entirely, or they've set some interest rate caps that force lenders out of business because they don't make a profit. If payday lenders are making $9 billion a year on just fees, which is converted over to what would be the effective interest rate, if you have some kind of law that says, I'm sorry, the interest rates in Tennessee on payday loans can't exceed 20%. That would take a big loss because right now they're getting 460%. So you can see that laws can put them out of business. 33 states permit payday lending. Some of those states have said, well, let's just exempt payday loans from the usury law. Usury law means the cap on interest rates. Or those states have chosen to not regulate the interest rates. But the practices within each state are very complicated. There's all kinds of things. They regulate things like how many times you can be a repeat borrower. Remember all those rollovers? You can't pay it off, so you get it renewed. Some states regulate that. Some states have a cooling off period before you got one and you got to wait a while before you can get another. And then some have interest on the interest caps. Now, when we go to this teacher portal, I want to show you how when you sign on and you get your free account, then you're going to have an email and a password, and you're going to log in. And when you log in, now see, this is just a screenshot of my account. My account says, hi, Jeannette, blah, blah, blah. But you see right up at the top, it says my classrooms. Right at the bottom, it says my classrooms. I don't know why it's on there twice. Either one will work. I, I don't know why. Okay, and then over here you see this FAQs, frequently asked questions. That's got everything in there you ever want to know about this account. So make sure you check that out. But you got to set up a classroom, and it might be called first period class or whatever. And then with each classroom, after you set it up, you get to choose what assignments you want them to do. And then you're going to email that to them, their password. They're going to do it online. So here's how you add a classroom. All you do is make a name for it, give it a beginning date and an ending date. That's important because it's only active for that period of time. So if it's a fall semester class and you want this to start on August the 29th and end on December the 1st, that's fine. Just set dates. And then you create the classroom. And then when it's created, the name of the classroom is going to show up over here in this window. And when it shows up, see, here it is in the window. Then it's going to say, you got to add some students. Well, my students going to be Sheila and Stephen and, all these. I'm going to have a whole bunch of kids in my class. Okay, I can do it two ways, either with Google, where they sign in and automatically join the class, or I can do it with an Excel spreadsheet where I import the name and the email, and they will get their assignments that way. Notice up here it says student progress. After I have assigned them to do this fast cash and payday loans, then I'm going to be able to monitor, are they really working on this? And how much did they do? And what is their score? Because see, there's going to be a test based on that article. It's going to be multiple choice questions, and I can get their scores. I mean, it's already done for me. Okay, so there's 7 easy steps. You create an account, you set up your classroom, add some students, then you got to select your resources. Then there'll be a syllabus. This is what y'all do in my class. This is a screenshot of the resource gallery where you choose what to add. Now look up here at the top. There's a view, and there's 403 resources. Well, I don't want to skim through 403. So I'm going to go up here to resource type, and I happen to know that the reading Q&A is what this fast cash and payday loans is. So is advertising is another one of those. So I could sort by resource type, and they're all going to come up here. And then I'm going to select by using that little plus button. I want that added. So when it's added, then I might want to preview it. Okay, and if you look back right here, you see it says preview right there at the bottom. So if you're trying to figure out what to assign and you want to preview it, it's going to come up like this. It's going to tell you that about the subject. There's a link to the teacher edition, which is going to have answers in it. And this is just from a page there. If I decide, yeah, I want them to do that, I can do the plus sign there. So this is a sample of questions that the kids would answer online if I had this assigned to them. Take just a second. And then Sheila, unmute or check the chat or something. See who can answer this.
Okay.
This is an actual question from that article.
Okay, we have some answers. I'll give a few more seconds to respond. This is
All right.
easy. Okay.
Are they all getting it right?
They are getting it right. They're trickling in, but according to the chat, the answer is C.
Yay! Yay! All right, let's see what we can do with this one. Now, this one you're going to have to think about because this is the type questions that, you read, the kids would read the article and then you have them think about the information. All right, Sheila, we're almost out of time. So if you got any answers? Well, first of all, let me read this. Scott is 15-years old. He's got a part-time job. He gets paid every 2 weeks. His paycheck goes directly to his prepaid debit card. Now he's got to borrow some money. But he went down there and he was denied. Why? Sheila, what's the answer?
The masses say because it was C, was not old enough to qualify. Yay!
Yay! It has to be 18. And by the way, up there where it says in the article explains this, his paycheck goes directly to his prepaid debit card. That's another way they have of getting their payment back. If you don't have a bank account, you can use this prepaid card, but they have access to it. So when it comes due in 2 weeks, they're going to take it off your prepaid debit card. Now you can't, if it's rolled over, they're going to say, oh, okay, we'll only charge you the fees. And they'll take that out of your bank account or your prepaid card. But it's still situation that you need to think about. Now, this is a screenshot of what I took from when it's scored for you. This is what the teacher would see, that this person got it right. They got 1 point out of 1. So this is just to show you what it looks like. Another thing I wanted to show you on the article that's online, this is not for you to read, but it's for you to see that there is a glossary attached to the article. So you remember, and the important vocabulary is going to be bold. So you remember a while ago I said something about these being unsecured loans and no collateral. Well, someplace in the article, the word collateral is used, and it tells you what it is. So that glossary is an important part of reading the article. So the main thing, the purpose is decision making based on facts. But I think that, the fear is we just go do things without thinking, without having facts. The session code and the keywords on this slide and my email is at the bottom. I hope you've got something from this session that you can use. Please email me if you're interested in setting up a classroom like I showed you, assigning resources, and need help. I'll be happy to work with you in any way. Okay, Sheila, how do we end it here?
Thank you guys for your participation. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We have the password and the meeting ID number. And also one other thing, Jeanette, some people mentioned that they wanted the PowerPoint, but it's not in the
Yes,
file section.
I will be putting it on there just the minute I'm off.
Yes. Thank
And
you guys so
also,
much.
I will also put on there the directions for setting up an account too.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, Sheila.
Yes, ma'am. We got a lot of great sessions. Thank you. They really enjoyed it.
But you know what? I can't believe did I get kicked off twice or 3 times?
Twice.
I mean, that makes me so nervous. Hey, Stephen Williams.
Let me unmute Stephen Williams. Okay, Steven, you're unmuted. Oh, did I do the right person?
I don't know. He's got his hand raised.
Yeah, I thought I unmuted him. Hold on, let me go find Stephen. Okay. You're unmuted, Stephen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
How are you?
Oh, great. Thank y'all again for a wonderful session.
Thank you
Well,
for
thank
coming.
you. I mean, Stephen, I'm going to have nerve pills after this, getting kicked off and all this. I mean, this is, and I
It's
thought,
like,
what?
it's like you
It was,
froze after every 5 minutes or something, just twice. But I was like, wow. So
yeah. I mean, I was totally kicked off. I had to start all over again, getting onto the Zoom. And it's like stressful enough when you only have 45 minutes to do it in. And then I mean, I'm going to have some, I don't know, Sheila, coffee's not doing it. That's not enough. I got to have. But Stephen, was the session okay regardless of all that?
Oh, it was great. I'll tell you, out of all the ones that I've been at, this one I can actually get excited and laugh and have a good conversation. So I like this one. So
Why? What about it did you like?
I like the idea how you break down not just talking about the payday loans, but also how you break down the Econ Lowdown. I even explained in the chat to some people that, you know, if they can't have access to internet, like at the prison, like that they have the Econ Lowdown text, you know, just another way. The Fed, they have multiple ways of getting the curriculum out, and I like it.
Now you know what, Stephen, I could do for you. I was just thinking, you know, I can't go in the bank, so I don't have any freebies or anything like that. But you know what? I might could, like, let's say you wanted to do this lesson on fast cash and payday loans.
Mm-hmm.
I could get it printed and have it mailed to you. I could do that, and then you've got the print lesson.
Cool. I mean, I know how to get the print lessons if it's the
Yeah,
page one and stuff.
it is, but at the same time, do you have access to printing all that all the time?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
that right now we just got some interactive boards that we're waiting on to get, but we don't have them yet set up. So hopefully if we ever get internet, we can start to use Econ Lowdown portal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anything I could have printed for you, I think I could do. But, you know, like as far as freebies or giveaways or anything, I can't go in the bank. Do you know I have a ham a real ham, like a eating kind of meat ham that's in the freezer there at the bank that I wanted to get out for Easter. And I thought, well, forget it. You know, and now it's like, I got to get that ham out before I might starve to death or it gets freezer burned or something.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow. That's
so,
something else. Well, I wish I could see y'all at an exhibit actual, but you know, this will work for now. Hopefully after after the presidential election, this whole COVID thing will be a thing of the past.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it'll all go away then. But anything you can think of that I could, like that, like printing something for you, I could probably do that, but I don't know how to help you right now other than that.
Well, I don't.
But,
I mean, we can actually make copies of like from the textbook, the Econ Lowdown textbook. We can make copies of that. I have access to the page one stuff that we can print off all the time.
you know what? Things like the payday lending would be good for your students because when they do that, they will be on release one of these days, and they need to know. You better be thinking about this stuff.
Now, there's one thing that I know with it. We get the infographics. We're able to order those and everything. And I just ordered the activity book that go with
Yes.
them. But if there are any other flyers, like the new ones that you gave us the last training at the Fed, the blue one you just showed in the presentation had a guy look like he was screaming at the top of it. I can't think of the name of it.
Alternative lenders.
Yes. If any new ones that y'all come up with, we would appreciate those, Miss Hatley, Miss Bridges, and I. So.
Okay. Well, y'all are special, so I try to keep you in mind. And
but don't forget, a USB would be great too.
But I don't have access.
I know.
Don't forget to remind me so I can keep on remembering.
Okay.
That reminds me, I listened to Trump last night was talking about this acuity test that he took, and one of the things was remembering, man, woman, the order of things, and I thought, I think I'd probably flunk that test because I can't remember from one day to the other. Did I do that or not? So you have to keep on reminding me, Stephen.
Will do. Hey, thank y'all both for doing this today.
Thanks, Stephen.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay.
Good job, Jeannette Bennett.
We still have people on.
Yeah, we do. Well,
they just like us, I guess.
I think so. They just hanging out with us. Yeah.
Well, anyway, this getting kicked off in the middle of a presentation
I'm going to address that.
Well, it's over, but you know what? It's over now. Why do you care?
Because it's something that they need to know for next time, or the next time they want to use the same platform. It kicks people off. I think they need to know.
Another thing, there are simpler ways of using Zoom, like. Anyway, I'm glad I managed to get back on. I was stressing bad.
No, I know.
And I'm going, Sheila.
Well, you got back on and you did a great job. Wonderful.
Somebody's got their hand raised.
So let's see who has their hand raised. I can let them in.
Terry.
Somebody named Terry has their hand raised?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let me see. Can I unmute Terry? Terry Moulton. All right, Terry, you're on. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, I was just going to say thank you. And I was listening to the conversation. I'm at TPFW and teach the CMS class. And this is a great resource, just the website to get information from. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for telling us that. I hope you forgive us for getting kicked off and stressing out and all those things that go on.
I completely understand. That's not a problem.
Thank you, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Okay, Sheila.
I don't see any more hands raised.
All right, shall we get off?
Yeah, we can end it. Thanks again, Jeannette. Just let me know if you need whatever you need for whatever reason. Just let me know. Keep in touch.
What's your phone number and I'm going to call you?
You don't have me locked in.
I
I
guess
have
not.
all of your numbers.
What's your number?
Every 615
Okay.
545
Okay.
8426.
I'm going to call you in just a second.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
See ya.